Good day and welcome to another episode of Npfl 360. And with me in the studio is our regular sports analyst, Nikowizi.
Good day, Blaze. It's good to be here and as usual to talk about the Npfl. The last match, day 14, which we just experienced, had 8 home wins and 1 draw. And that's really normal in the Npfl. It's normal in the Npfl. But at the end of the day, it is still... the Npfl is still a work in progress, and we hope that that work in progress will develop into something bigger for the Npfl. Maybe something bigger than what we saw back in the 70s and in the 80s.
18 goals scored last week. What do you think about that? Is that a poor performance or is that an encouraging performance?
It is in the middle. You won't say it's poor. You won't say it's excellent, because when you look at it, these are human beings. You need to be considerate. They are human beings, and they play these games week in, week out, and this is the only thing they do. So you just look at it. You are not ruling out the injuries that will come with it, the fatigue, everything that comes with it. This is football. So when you also look at
it's not this Npfl they're playing, this football they're playing. It's not the same football that they play in the Premier League, in the League One, and we see goals coming week in, week out. And in 2024, we are still looking at teams scoring only 18 goals.
Oh, you also look at the quality of the league. This is quality. Now you're not talking about quality of the league. You can't compare what we have in Europe to what we have here in Nigeria. They are two different things.
Let's leave Europe. You look at African teams or African football teams like in Egypt or South Africa, and you understand that their league is interesting. Goals are being scored, but it's like back here at home, we just see 1 goal, 2 goals. What's the issue? Why is it always like that?
It shows you how competitive the league is. In a league where you score goals, goals comes in frequently, unceremoniously, and when you look at it, you see that the league is not really highly competitive.
Let's go into the business of today. Go into it's match day 15. Yeah. Going to be starting with Lobby Stars. They're going to be playing against Kwara United. And if you look at Lobby Stars, you understand that as of last week, they were 17th on the table. Now, at the moment, they are 19th on the table. They have won only 3 games this season, drawn 4, and they have lost 7 games. They're going to be playing against the Kwara United that they are improving. They were 10th and they are now 7th. They have won 5 games already and drawn 5 games. What do you think these two teams going head to head?
I think it's going to be a keenly contested game. Yes, not really the fact that Lobby Stars, the last time they played against Rangers, it was a 3-0 loss. Unfortunately, really, it's not what we expected for Lobby Stars. But Rangers, we don't rule them out as a very competitive team that wants to win the Npfl for the second consecutive time.
That's why they lost.
Maybe it is because of the current form of Lobby Stars. They are not really doing well since Eugene Agabe resigned. Was sacked, and he was fired. They brought in Daniel Amokachi to lead the team. Yes, Daniel Amokachi is a good coach on his own, but it will be difficult. And more especially, I used to talk about mentality of teams when you play football. If they really have a sports psychologist who can actually examine these players and understand their type of mentality, the mentality goes a long way. Has a role to play when it comes to football.
So what do you think about the game? What's going to happen? Who do you think will win? Who do you think will lose? Or is it going to be a draw game?
Looking at Lobby Stars in that very game, they might as well get a narrow victory in that very game. Just for the fact that they will not want to lose again, they are coming back like wounded lions. I used to say this all the time. They will come back like wounded lions.
They're playing against the Kwara United that is in the form of their life. They are 7th on the league.
Don't also rule out the form of Kwara United, but this is a home side. Lobby Stars is playing from their home front, from their comfort zone. The fans will come in their large number to support them. And
Nico, this is the Kwara United that has 20 points. And
when last did Kwara United win the Npfl?
You're talking about the
Kwara United is just yes, of course, the current form, yes, but you don't rule out the fact. Yes, we have current form. Take for example Remo Stars. Remo Stars, currently they are okay, form, yes. But when they go away, they intend to lose games, and you look at it as if
okay. You're saying that in the Npfl there's strength in the home side,
of course,
when you're playing at home.
So the Lobby Stars will be playing with some level of motivation coming from their fans and from everybody who cares to support them. So, but at the end of the day, I believe it's a narrow victory for Lobby Stars.
Let's see how that game will go. Moving forward, Bendel Insurance versus Plateau United. Plateau United currently have 15 points on the table, while Bendel Insurance have 12 points. For me, these are two teams that are at the bottom of the league table, and they're going to go head to head this weekend. What do you think about that game?
I believe Bendel Insurance has another opportunity to win the game. Their last two games they won, and they really did exceptionally well, especially after Monday Odigie left the team in a very sorry.
But this Bendel Insurance lost their last game because they were 17th as of last week.
I'm talking about immediately Monday Odigie put in his resignation later. They won their next game after that. So you see that they are trying to change the fortunes of the club. It is still left for these players to change the fortunes of the club. Don't forget they lost some of their important players, and that has really affected them. More especially with their top goalkeeper who currently play for a club in Ethiopia.
Moving forward, El Kanami Warriors, they're playing at home against the Bayelsa United. And El Kanami Warriors, they're fourth on the table at the moment, and this is another team in the Npfl that is in form, having won 5, drawn 7, and lost only 2 this season. They're playing against a Bayelsa United they're the mid-table side. They are 13th on the league table. As of last week, they were 16th. This week, they are 13th on the league table. What do you think is going to happen in this match?
I believe this time around, El Kanami Warriors will try to secure a draw, knowing fully well that they are playing against a side that are really trying to change their fortunes. Also, I talked about Lobby Stars trying to change their fortunes, but they are not really moving in the right direction. For Bayelsa United, they are trying to move in. The last time they played, it was 4-1. And so they are trying to...
How do you convince me that an El Kanami Warriors that is fourth on the league table is not moving in the right direction?
El Kanami Warriors is also moving in the right direction, but there is something, about a team that has lost so badly, and a coach that is not really happy with the situation of his team, more especially with Ladan Boso of Bayelsa United.
So you go with Bayelsa United. I don't agree with you, but Nico. Well, we'll see next week. Moving forward, the big game. There is a big game. I call it a big game because these two teams are big sides in the Npfl. Rivers United is going against Kano Pillars. Rivers United at the moment, we saw them at a point topping the league table. They have gone down. Rainbow Stars are currently topping the league table. Then Rivers United, they're second on the table now, and they're going against a Kano Pillars. Even though they are 8th on the table, we know the kind of squad they have. That's the team that we have the likes of Ahmed Musa in that team, destroying or doing so well in the Npfl. So what do you think about this match? I
believe this time around is going to be, they say where 2 elephants fight, the grasses suffer. So when you look at it, you see it's 2 elephants fighting. So at the Adokia Amasemeka Stadium, which is a fortress for Rivers United, is going to be a tough one, really a tough one, against an experienced Kano Pillar side that have the likes of Rabiu Ali and Ahmed Musa playing passionately for the team. They are not really, I said it in the last show, they are not really playing for the money or whatever. Yes, the money added to it, yes, it's good, but they are playing for the passion of the team. Rabiu Ali, I don't think he has played for any other club in his entire career. It was from Kano Pillars that he got a call up to the Super Eagles, played for a few times before he now left again. So when you look at it, you see, and at 44, he's still playing fantastically well, still getting the free kicks correctly, still getting the goals, still trying his best. He's one of the top scorers in the Npfl. Ahmed Musa, also one of the top scorers in the Npfl. So you don't rule out a surprise at the Adokia Amasemeka Stadium. For Finidi George and Rivers United, he will try not to lose that very game because it is in front of the home fans. And so he would like to keep up the momentum which he started with this season. Yes, his experience at the other places he has worked has really helped him to improve in his coaching tactics. But at the end of the day, I see a draw in this very encounter.
Moving ahead, another big game. Eyimba going against Rangers. Southeast Derby. These are two strong fortress teams in the Southeast that are going head to head this weekend. What do you think will happen in that game? Remember that Eyimba has 2 games outstanding.
Yeah, of course, 2 games are standing for Eyimba because of their continental engagement. Yeah, they later played their continental engagement. Unfortunately, they lost to Masri of Egypt. Unfortunately, this is not just about Eyimba, but it's about the synonymous, nature of the Nigerian league when they go abroad. When you look at the situation, you see that Nigerian league, Nigerian teams when they go abroad, they really don't do well, and so and it's still a problem in there. But let's leave that one. Enyimba has not played in the Npfl for 2 games now, and it hasn't really affected them. It hasn't really affected them.
Yeah, their position.
Yes,
that's the system.
Of course, and this is the Township Stadium in Aba. Very, very the Enyimba Township Stadium in Aba is really somehow a fortress. So Rangers International coming with that zeal which they got from their win against Lobby the last time. Yes, and it looks, when I spoke to the assistant coach of the team, talking about Eke Kenediluchukwu, he was really sounding confident of what they need to, what the fans should expect going against Enyimba. It's an Oriental derby.
We have said it in this studio. I said it earlier in the studio that Enyimba, not Enyimba now, Rangers started the struggle. They struggled when they started this season, but they have they are third on the league table. Yeah. It was as if they were starting slow, and it was as if that they won't defend the title. Last season they were the title. They held the title last season, but it's as if that they have come back to form. Going to play an Enyimba in that Aba Stadium, we know what it means to play Enyimba in that Aba Stadium. You still think? Do you think Rangers will win in Aba?
It's possible for Rangers to win in Aba. Yes, I believe that the resurrection of Rangers back to form, and I think part of it was when they resigned Godwin Obaje. Yes, Godwin Obaje scored 12 goals last season, and he came back. He has already started scoring. So you look at he's an old player of the team. He already knows the terrain. So when you see how and he has really impacted positively in the team. So when you look at it, he's a plus to Rangers. And so their initial experience in the Continentals earlier in the season, actually helped to reshape them.
Ikorodu City versus Akwa United. Ikorodu City is another team that they recently are on the form of their life. They have won 6, they have drawn 3, and they have lost only 5 games. 21 points already this season. They are going against an Akwa United. I think Akwa United is that your team that you like. So
I believe this time, losing 5 games is not just only. Losing 5 games is quite it's quite a lot. When you lose 5 games.
Well, only might be wrong, but I wanted to say that in their last 3 games, they've not lost in their last 3 games. And this is a team that when the league started, we saw how they were struggling. They had to even sack their managers and got a new management, and they are back on form. They are going back to play an Akwa United. What do you think will happen in that game?
It's a straight win for Ikorodu City. Looking at the vibrant nature of the team, they are in the Npfl for the first ever time. They have never been there before, and you look at the position they are right now. Yes, so you see how vibrant they are, how they are anxious for success. They want to succeed. They want to do better. And so football comes with passion. So they're passionate about getting a victory. They are passionate about getting something positive. I told you about Ikorodu City at some point. They had 2 of their players called up to the Chan Eagles. So you see how the improvement that has happened to them after Nuruddin Awororo took over the team. Yes, Bright Ozebaze did his job for 9 months. Fortunately, he decided to pull out. But you look at the current coach, Nuruddin, really doing fantastically well with Ikorodu City. Ikorodu City is playing with less known players. These are players who have hunger for success. Something about hunger for success. Somebody really wants to succeed, and you see the person walking towards that success, and that's things. For that very game, I see that Ikorodu City will win. Akwa United, far from being serious in the league, they are not yet serious. From what this is an Akwa United that some time ago they won the league, and that was when we saw Olisanda leaving Akwa United to go abroad to South Africa to play for Orlando Pirates.
Finally, on Ikorodu United, do you think they can make it to maybe the Continentals with the way they are going?
It's possible they can make it to the Continental. It's really possible. Looking at they say you're as good as your last game. So presently, with what is on paper, Ikorodu City, any day, anytime, can make the Continentals this season.
Moving forward, the next game of the week is Shooting Stars against Abia Warriors. Abia Warriors are currently 11th on the league table. They went from 15th last week to 11th. While Shooting Stars, they are 10th on the league table. This team, when you look at their form this season, you understand that Shooting Stars has won 5 games. They have drawn 3 and they have lost 6. While Abia Warriors also have won 5 games. They have also drawn 3 and they have lost 6. So 11th and 12th on the league table. How do you think this game will go? These are 2 teams that are almost at the same par on the league.
I believe this time around, this is a game that will have the more experienced side will win at this point in time. You look at first of all,
there are 2 teams of the same strength.
Yes, looking at when I talk about experience, look at their coach. You look at Shooting Stars coach Benga Ogumbote. He's not a newcomer in the NPFL. He won the NPFL.
You're not a newcomer.
Yes, he's 10th in the league, but you don't remove that experience from him. You don't really remove it from him. He's still there. It depends on the quality of players you give him to play with. These things, that coaches don't really succeed sometimes. You look at the quality of players that was given to him. You look at the players, if the players have the zeal to play, or it's just players who just want salaries to be paid to them at the end of the month. It's not really good. So there are 2 different types of players. Players playing with passion, passionate about it, and they're passionate about scoring goals. They're passionate about success. Yes, and just players who are just filled with lackluster performance, and you see them trying to just play because they say you should play. If you don't play, you get banned. So it's 2 different things. So when you look at Shooting Stars, the last time they played against Remo Stars, unfortunately they lost. Unfortunately, because I know Daniel Ogumodede is also an experienced coach in the NPFL, so you don't rule that fact out. But this time, Shooting Stars, 3SC, as sometimes we call them, will get a victory against Abia Warriors. Not forgetting, Abia Warriors, yes, they have been good lately, but Shooting Stars will really give them a run for their money, and it's going to be a win.
All right. Moving forward, we are going to be looking at Katsina United versus Sunshine United. What do you think about this game?
Yes, Katsina United against Sunshine Stars. Sunshine Stars had one of their games postponed. They were supposed to play against Enyimba the other time. Unfortunately, it got postponed due to Enyimba's engagement in the Continentals. And so they are not in Akure this time. They are going away, and it's going to be difficult for them. And Katsina United, another upcoming team in the NPFL. There are no newcomers in the NPFL, but in terms of their current form, they are still trying their best to pick up. So it's going to be a game where anybody who does well is going to win. So this time, you might see a Sunshine Stars getting a victory. And you also have Katsina United, who are also capable of getting a victory in that game, depending on their performances.
All right. Moving forward, you are looking at Heartland versus Nasarawa United. What do you think? Let's start from Heartland. What do you think so far this season? How have you seen Heartland?
It has been terrible for Heartland lately. Unfortunately for Emmanuel Amuneke, he's doing his best. Looking at, you can't rule out the fact that he's not doing his best. If you ask him now, he will tell you he's doing his best. He's doing everything possible because he's a highly rated coach in Africa. Highly rated. This is a coach that won the FIFA Under-17 World Cup with the Golden Eagles back in 2015. Victor Osimhen, Samuel Chukwueze, and the likes. They were all there and they won the yes. So he is highly rated. So and that's the reason why the Abia State government, the Imo State government, is paying him the kind of money they pay him to make sure that he does the job. So at this point in time, he's trying his best, but his best is not yet enough. So we have this game to be played, Heartland FC of Owerri against Nasarawa United. Yes, Heartland, the other day they ended up getting a draw against Rangers. And it was just about their resilience nature. They were trying to be careful so they don't get to lose. And so they ended the game and left home with just 1 point. I believe this time around, Nasarawa United just won their last game. And it's just like a team that's resurrected from the dead. Looking at the situation on ground.
That's the team that Yusuf.
And Nas Yusuf plays for, one of the top. To maintain consistency, I told you, is totally hard. When you see the Ronaldos and Messis of this world, you see them playing and scoring goals here and there, day in, day out. It's not really easy.
But if you look at that Nasarawa United team, you understand that they're already 2 goals.
Unfortunately, so sad.
They are conceding.
And lately, they lost 3 consecutive games before they now won.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a little bit dicey for them. But
and this is a team that started well this season.
Yeah, of course. It's bound. This thing is bound to happen. This is football. You don't always be in your best form all the time. But one thing about football is it's not about how you failed. It's about how you were able to work yourself up back to success. How do you what efforts do you put in to make sure that you get into getting back success? How hungry are you to get success back? And so for Nasarawa United, their last game counted for that. They really wanted to stop the fact that they are not getting wins, and so they tried their best and got the win in the last game. And now I believe this time around
For this game, what do you think?
it's going to be a win for Nasarawa United.
All right. The last game for the week, Niger Tornadoes versus the league leaders, Remo Stars. What do you think will happen?
Niger Tornadoes at the Bako Katangura Stadium is not really a fortress. That stadium is not really a fortress for them. But this time around, Remo Stars is going away. Remo Stars, they are really poor travelers, not doing so well when they go for away games. They only do well when they play.
Funny enough, they have not played well their last two games. The last game their last game they drew. The game before that they lost, but they are still first on the league table, and they are going against the Nasarawa. Well, the Niger Tornadoes also they have lost their last. They lost their last game, drew the one before that, and they lost the one before that. So what do you think? I think Remo Stars, being the more experienced side, should go and win that game.
Yeah, of course, Remo Stars. You're right. Remo Stars can still do something, to win that very game. Yes, they can still win that very game actually. But you also look at Remo Stars. Look at them, the experience. They know that their away games are very poor. They know that one. They know it for a fact that it's so poor. So, and the coach must have been telling them to improve. Daniel Ogumodede might have been telling them to improve on your away games. In most cases in the league, when you pick the most points, you need to be very careful and very decisive when it comes to your away games. You need to be very serious with it. Most times, you don't wait to get points at home. Yes, anybody can get points at home. Even team that is not playing well that can get points at home. But when you are getting points away, you are definitely in the right direction to maybe win the Nigerian Premier League. But I'm not saying that Remo Stars is going to win the Nigerian Premier League. But
Why do you think they will win the league?
They have tried the last 2 seasons to win it. It wasn't really possible. But this time, looking at them,
I tried to say they are the Arsenal of the Npfl.
that's not. No. You also look at their, when they came to the Npfl. A few years ago, they came to the Npfl. It's not quite long, and they tried their best. They have Daniel Ogumodede doing his best, and he's really he has really produced a lot. He has really done well at it, because if not for his performance, he wouldn't have been called up to the Super Eagles fold to help handle the Super Eagles. But looking at the game, Remo Stars against Niger Tornadoes, I see this will be, it's going to be an away victory, a narrow away victory for Remo Stars.
All right, so this is where we'll be wrapping it up for today's episode of Npfl 360. I still remain your host, Blaze, and I was in the studio with Nico Wizi. Nico Wizi, it was nice to discuss with you again.
Thanks for having me.
All right.